Close your eyes for a moment. Ask yourself something ancient. If God can appear anywhere, why do so many stories say He appears here? This is not a question of geography. It is a question of vision, of how a civilization sees time, sees duty, sees the divine. In many traditions, God remains above, watching, judging, commanding. But in Sanatana Dharma, God descends, not once, not twice, but again and again and again. The Sanskrit word is avatar. It does not mean illusion. It does not mean symbol. It means descent. The infinite chooses limitation. The eternal accepts time. The all-powerful accepts pain. And this happens whenever dharma begins to collapse, whenever injustice becomes normal, whenever arrogance sits on the throne. Think about that. In this worldview, history is not random. It is cyclical. Ages rise, ages decay. These ages are called yugas. And in every age of darkness, an answer walks the earth. Why here? Because this land preserved a radical idea that God is not distant. God participates. Rivers are sacred. Mountains are sacred. Even the soil is addressed like a mother. When a culture sees divinity everywhere, it becomes natural to believe that divinity can also walk among us. In these stories, the divine does not come to dominate. He comes to demonstrate. He takes birth as a prince, yet lives in exile. He takes birth as a cowherd, yet guides kings. The message is powerful. If God accepts struggle, who are we to escape it? The avatar feels hunger, feels betrayal, feels heartbreak, yet never abandons dharma. That is the hidden truth. Avatars are not about miracles. They are about models. They show how power should behave, how leadership should act, how justice should be protected. And here is something deeper. The avatar does not fix everything instantly. He teaches, he guides, he awakens people. Because the real restoration of dharma must come from human choice. That is why the descent happens here. Not because this land is exclusive, but because this philosophy welcomes participation. It says, the divine and the human are not enemies. They are reflections. Today we ask, where is God? Why doesn't He appear now? Maybe the deeper question is this: if an avatar stands before us, would we recognize him? Or are avatars not only cosmic events, but awakenings of consciousness? A teacher who stands for truth, a leader who refuses corruption, a person who protects the weak. In that moment, dharma rises again. So why do gods take avatars only in India? Perhaps they do not. Perhaps this is simply the place that recorded it, preserved it, lived it. This civilization dared to say, God is not far away. God is involved. And when darkness grows heavy, when injustice laughs loudly, when humanity forgets its duty, the infinite becomes finite. The timeless enters time. The divine walks beside us, not to rule us, but to remind us of who we are meant to be. The real secret of avatars is not where they descend. It is why they descend. To restore balance, to awaken courage, to protect dharma, and maybe, just maybe, the next descent begins when we choose righteousness over fear. The story is not finished. It is waiting. And before we close this journey, let us stand still for one more truth. Because the story of avatars is not only about the past, it is about the future. Every descent happens when humanity forgets balance, when power becomes pride, when knowledge loses wisdom. Look around today. Technology grows, information spreads, but peace feels fragile. The scriptures describe Kali Yuga as an age of confusion, where noise replaces clarity, where speed replaces depth. Does that not sound familiar? But here is the beautiful part. Even in Kali Yuga, hope is not removed. The promise remains. Whenever dharma declines, the divine responds. Not always with thunder, not always with celestial weapons. Sometimes with awareness. Think about this carefully. What if avatars are not limited to one grand arrival? What if the descent is gradual? What if it begins quietly, inside hearts that refuse corruption? A society does not transform in one miracle. It transforms when individuals choose righteousness repeatedly. The avatar shows the ideal. We are meant to reflect it. Remember, even the greatest avatars did not escape suffering. They faced exile, war, betrayal. Yet they never abandoned dharma. That is the blueprint. In a corrupt age, be incorruptible. In a violent age, be just. In a selfish age, protect the weak. This is how divine descent continues. And maybe that is why these stories survived here. Because they are not only worshipped, they are lived. Temples are built in stone, but dharma is built in conduct. So the next time someone asks, why do gods take avatars only in India? You can answer differently. Perhaps the better question is, where is dharma remembered strongly enough for the divine to be recognized? Because an avatar can walk unnoticed if hearts are asleep. The real miracle is not the descent. It is recognition. Recognition that justice matters, that truth matters, that courage matters. And when enough people awaken to that, darkness retreats. The river still flows. The ages still turn. The promise still lives. The divine is never absent. It is waiting for alignment. So do not only wait for an avatar. Prepare for one. Strengthen your character. Protect your integrity. Stand firm in dharma. Because when righteousness rises within humanity, heaven does not remain silent. The descent begins. the moment we rise.